Good evening to you. I'm Sophia Cambridge with this Sunday, December 22nd edition of the CBC Evening News. In our top story tonight, grim news: Christmas will not be merry for 3 Christchurch families this year after fire severely damaged their homes. A total of 16 people, including 4 children, are now homeless after fire broke out in the Silver Hill housing area just after 1:30 this afternoon. 3 units, Units 5D, 5E and 5F were affected, with the upper floor of Block 5E being extensively damaged. 2 tenders, one from Worthing and the other from Bridgetown headquarters, along with 5 officers under the command of Acting Station Officer Denton Foster and Leading Fire Officer Denzel Knight, responded to the blaze. One resident, Sandra Harding Cox, who lived at Block E, was at home with her sister when the fire began.
I was in the kitchen doing Manuja holiday cleaning up, and I just heard the breaker in the kitchen clip, and my sister and I smelled something upstairs, smoke, and I just see the place just on fire.
Neighbour Marlene Brathwaite, who lived at 5D, was not at home when it all began, but got there just in time to remove some of her items from the house.
So when I actually looked down the streets where I can see, from where I was, I can see my home. So I actually thought it was my house. So that wasn't going on too good at all, you know.
Yeah.
So then when I actually got closer, somebody said it's not yours, but it's the house next to you. Then when they got here, the guys from the neighborhood, they were actually, the neighbors were trying to get everything from both homes on the outside. And I went in, then I went upstairs to my, tried to take out some of the things from up there, but then the smoke got really too much. You couldn't stay there any longer.
And in another incident, an unoccupied wooden brick house at Barkers Road, Haggett Hall, was also gutted by fire this afternoon. CBC cameraman Christopher Wood was there. 4 fire officers from Bridgetown headquarters responded to this blaze. Up until news time, the owner of the property had not been identified. In other news, the downgrade of Barbados' government bond rating by Moody's investors confirms what was already known about the state of this island's economy. That's according to Lalu Vashwani, the president of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry. In an interview with the CBC, Mr. Vashwani said it also emphasizes the need to act quickly to put measures in place to turn things around.
I think that the Moody's downgrade merely reinforces what we already know, that our economic condition is very serious, and their outlook is that they see it slipping. And what we require now is to implement those corrective measures that the government has enunciated, and do so in a way that gives certainty to the economy.
And Mr. Vashwani says that moving forward, any further uncertainty and anxiety should be avoided.
The last thing we need is to do it in a way that we increase the level of uncertainty and resulting in anxiety. The investing markets are very precise, and if we make a commitment we are going to do so, we must do so. And we should not have any protraction of any discussion, although we know that we have to reduce the excessive size of our government. We know that we have to restore our current account, the excess of our expenditure over income. We have to do those things in as objective a way as possible, but we must do so.
We'll learn from the past in order to plan for the future. That's the advice the Minister of Industry and Commerce, Donville Innes, is giving to the local business community as they seek to manage one of the harshest economic recessions this country has had to deal with for some time. Minister Innes says rather than throwing one's hands in the air and preaching doom and gloom, now is the time to be innovative and to think outside of the box. He made the comments recently during the annual awards luncheon for Courtesy Garage employees at Harrison's Cave in St. Thomas.
I know the last year has not been an easy year for any one of us, and I would be the proverbial ostrich if I stood here and said that it was a great year. All evidence is there that it was a challenging year. But there are those who, of course, wish to spend time reflecting all the negativity and why it was challenging, etc. I think we have to spend more time learning from the experiences of the past and seriously planning for the future. So yes, wise it has been challenging. Of course, I'm sure you recognize it was also a year filled with opportunities.
And Minister Innes says he'd like to see greater exploitation of the benefits of the electricity and energy bill, which the government has just passed in Parliament.
But there's some things that we like certainly as the government to see going forward in relating to your industry in particular. And one is a request to address the issue of the fuel import bill in this country, which currently stands at about $808 million for between electricity and transportation. And perhaps to give a little bit more attention to the use of electric vehicles in Barbados as well. We believe, certainly coming out of a debate in Parliament earlier this week and last week in respect of electric light and power bill, that we really and truly have no more time to delay in respect of really rolling out these programs in respect of not only our domestic and commercial use of fuel, but also the transportation side of it.
Well, one senior health official says greater collaboration between non-governmental organizations and communities is needed in order to solve many of the problems which affect adolescents. Dr. Elizabeth Ferdinand, the Senior Medical Officer of Health in the Ministry of Health, says this is essential as many families have become more individualistic and now lack the guidance previously provided by grandparents. At the time, she was delivering the feature address at the graduation ceremony for the Barbados Family Planning Association's Family Life Counselling and Community Development Training Programme.
We need to find innovative ways to deal with the total development of the individual and the family in society. In addition, adolescents must be given the assistance they need to help them to navigate the most challenging period of their lives. The BFPA's emphasis on community development, which focuses on family life counselling and community development training, is extremely important.
And Dr. Ferdinand says the Barbados Family Planning Programme has offered an invaluable contribution to the country over the last 21 years.
The training you have received has equipped you to assist families to talk to each other about their concerns and their needs. This will in turn contribute to building strong family relationships, which will provide the foundation to support them through any challenges which may arise during the course of their lives.